Bomb kills general in charge of Russia's nuclear defense force. A Ukrainian official confirmed that Kyiv was behind the assassination of General Igor Kirillov, the head of Russia's radioactive, chemical, and biological defense forces. The general, who oversaw Russia's military nuclear and chemical weapons protection forces, was killed by a bomb on a Moscow street Tuesday, marking one of the most audacious assassinations since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine nearly 3 years ago. Kirillov, 54, and an aide were killed when an explosive device, hidden in a scooter, detonated near the entrance to a residential building, according to Russia's Investigative Committee. An official from Ukraine's security service SBU, speaking on condition of anonymity due to the sensitive nature of the operation, confirmed the details of the assassination as reported by Russia. The SBU regarded Kirillov as a legitimate target. Just a day before his death, the SBU had charged Kirillov in absentia for his role in the alleged massive use of banned chemical weapons in Ukraine. The agency claimed Russian forces had used toxic chemical agents to attack Ukrainian positions, attempting to force soldiers out of their trenches. According to Russia's military, the Division General Kirillov led specialized in tasks such as protecting Russian forces during the use of chemical and nuclear weapons. He had previously headed a Russian military academy and was involved in the country's COVID-19 response. Kirillov's assassination is the highest-profile killing of a Russian military official far from the front lines since the invasion began in 2022. While other Russian generals have died in occupied Ukraine or near the front, Kirillov is the highest-ranking official to be killed within Russia itself. In addition to his military role, Kirillov was involved in Russia's propaganda efforts against Ukraine and the West, often appearing in the media with unfounded claims. For example, in 2023, he alleged that the United States was planning to deploy drones designed to spread infected mosquitoes. He also claimed that Russian forces had uncovered a chemical weapons lab near Avdiivka, a Ukrainian city captured by Moscow in February. On Tuesday, the RIA Novosti State News Agency published a photo showing a bomb disposal robot outside a brick building in Moscow. The agency reported that the explosion, which occurred around 6:12 a.m., was so powerful it damaged windows up to the third floor and shattered those across the street. Kirillov, who headed Russia's radioactive, chemical, and biological defense forces, was also involved in the development of the TOS-2 thermobaric rocket launcher, which the Russian military frequently uses in Ukraine. The Kremlin had not commented on the killing by Tuesday afternoon, though Russian state television reported the event as a major story, calling it a tragedy. In the lower house of parliament, Chairman Vyacheslav Volodin observed a moment of silence for the general, referring to him as not only a military leader, but first and foremost a scientist. Dmitry Medvedev, former president and deputy chairman of the Russian Security Council, vowed inevitable retaliation against Ukraine's military and political leadership, accusing Ukraine of trying to prolong the war with such killings. The SBU, Ukraine's domestic security service responsible for counterintelligence, organized crime, and terrorism, has extended its role during the war to include sabotage operations and targeted killings within Russia. It is believed to have been behind the 2022 assassination of Daria Dugina, the daughter of a prominent Russian nationalist, and the recent killing of Valery Trankovsky, a senior Russian naval officer, both through car bombings. With its military under pressure on the battlefield, Ukraine has turned to such unconventional tactics to complement its efforts. The SBU claimed that Russian forces, under General Kirillov's orders, had used chemical weapons more than 4,800 times since the war began. Russia denied these accusations during a July meeting of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW. Ukraine has asserted that the chemical weapons used by Russia often include combat grenades containing the irritant chemical agents CS and CN, tear gases typically deployed by riot police to disperse crowds. These substances are prohibited in warfare under the Chemical Weapons Convention, a treaty ratified by over 150 countries, including Russia. In the spring, the U.S. State Department reported that Russia had used chloropicrin, a choking agent first deployed in World War I, along with tear gas on the battlefield. This fall, Britain imposed sanctions on General Kirillov for his role in the chemical weapons deployment in Ukraine. The OPCW in May described the situation in Ukraine as volatile and extremely concerning regarding the potential reemergence of toxic chemicals as weapons. However, it stated that the evidence for chemical weapons use in the conflict was insufficiently substantiated. Reporting by Maria Varenikova in Kyiv, Alina Lobzina in London, and Natalia Vasilyeva in Istanbul contributed to this story. For the New York Times,